So Mandelbrot wrote a book called How Long is the Coast of Great Britain? How long is the coast of Great Britain? Well, we got an answer for that. The answer is it's about 11,000 miles. 11,000 miles around the coast of Great Britain. He said, well, what if you don't measure it in miles? What if you measure it in yards? So you go around the coast of Great Britain and you're measuring this in yards, you get a completely different number, right? Because you're taking into account a little bit more of the variegation of the zones, right? And he said, what if you don't use yards? What if you use like inches? And if you go around the coast of Great Britain measuring in inches, right, you're going, oh, damn that Mandelbrot. And at the same time, you get a wildly different number. And he proved it mathematically that the smaller the unit of measure, the closer to infinity that answer becomes. It becomes infinite. Right? If you get a small enough measure, it moves right toward infinity. But it's like, I thought it was 11,000 miles. Now it's infinite? What's up with that? And what's up with that is that he was critiquing the current dominance of Euclidean geometry. He said, by measuring nature with Euclidean geometry, you misrepresent some of its important nature. Like you can find, if you need to do shipping or something, or then you need that kind of measure. But if you want to know about the nature of this, don't use linear measure, right? Because if you stick a linear measure onto this, you're going to get a linear answer, right? For natural systems, they'll pretty much show you what you tell them to show you. And this is important for us as therapists, right? So I'm going to talk about the value of understanding a complex system in the context of the free association conversation, right? Where we're really allowing the psyche and the organism to speak its own language. And for me to learn that rather than me to tell it how to speak, okay? Because if you impose a structure onto something, what you get back is an affirmation of your method. All the methods that are working, they work because they say, here's what you're going to get. I put my finger in front of a person and wave it around, and they stop feeling a certain way. Yeah, because you did that, right? But, so anyway. Don't get me started. So, right. So, part of what we want to look at then is the fractal nature of our psyche, and that is represented and can be represented mathematically in terms of this bifurcation, nonlinear diagramming. These kinds of diagrams were created, for instance, to sort out population variables. So you need a nonlinear description for nature because it is nonlinear. Different things happen. You can't always tell what it's going to be. So you have a population of voles on an island, and that population increases for a certain period of time up to a critical point, like a critical juncture. It's a challenge. So they've maybe used up all their resources given that population. That area, that ecosystem can only sustain a certain population, and then something happens. There's a critical point. Either the population declines and kind of has a collapse, or there's an adaptation. Like the raven figures out how to stick a stick into the termite mound and pull out termites. It's like, oh, and everybody goes, hey, thank God, we're gonna go the other direction. Now we're gonna eat termites, and the population can go up until another critical mass, a critical juncture happens. And then again, you get the same kind of bifurcation. It's going to go one way or the other. Our systems also have that kind of process because our system is built around those processes of either more or less, up or down. Motor neurons, they're excitatory motor neurons, they're inhibitory motor neurons. So it's up or down. And you can then track overall the system phase, because our phase is also this kind of binary system in relationship to, say, red and blue, the activation and deactivation process.